So, what do you get when you mix cat videos, those personality quizzes you can't resist, and believe it or not, Pulitzer Prize winning journalism? Well, you get BuzzFeed. For a solid decade, this company wasn't just on the internet, it pretty much was the internet. But things change. So, how in the world did they manage to stay on top? Let's dive in.
Oh, come on, you can admit it. You've definitely taken a quiz to find out which Friends character you are. We've all been there. And that, right there, was the absolute magic of early BuzzFeed. The content was so simple, so relatable, you had to click, and then you had to share it. It was honestly genius, and it completely took over all our social feeds.
And look, this wasn't just some happy accident. Back in the 2010s, BuzzFeed didn't just stumble upon virality, they basically reverse engineered it. They built this massive media empire by understanding the deep-down psychology of that share button. They knew exactly what made us laugh, what sparked our curiosity, and, most importantly, what made us feel connected. They were the architects of the viral internet as we knew it.
Okay, so let's rewind the clock a bit and go back to their golden age. How did they actually build this content juggernaut? Well, it all came down to a simple but totally brilliant formula. This right here was their secret recipe. See, it wasn't just about one thing. It was this whole carefully crafted ecosystem. You'd pop over for a fun quiz, then you'd get mesmerized by a tasty video, and maybe, just maybe, you'd end up reading a really serious news piece. Every single bit of content was designed not just for you to look at, but for you to share. And that created this powerful, endless loop of traffic. And the numbers, they're just staggering. I mean, even today, millions of people are still taking their quizzes every single day. That kind of staying power is almost unheard of in the digital world, right? It just goes to show how sticky and effective their original formula really was. But then, well, the ground started to shift. The whole social media landscape that BuzzFeed had totally conquered began to change right under their feet. Platform algorithms got tweaked, our attention spans got shorter, and the entire business model for online media was just thrown into chaos. And then the bombshell dropped. BuzzFeed News, the division that won a Pulitzer Prize, their serious journalism arm, was shut down. This sent shockwaves through the media world and raised a massive question. If the absolute kings of going viral couldn't make serious news work online, what was next? Was this it? Was this the end of an era? But here's the thing. BuzzFeed wasn't just going to fade away. No way. Instead, they decided to completely reinvent themselves. This next chapter in their story is all about how they shifted from just chasing clicks to building a business that could actually survive for the long haul. Which brings us to the big mystery, right? Their old playbook was out of date, their prestigious news team was gone, so how is BuzzFeed still one of the biggest names in the game today?
Well, the answer is in their brand new game plan. They built a whole new engine to power their growth, and it runs on 3 key fuels: creators, commerce, and AI. Let's pop the hood and see how it works.
This chart just lays it out so perfectly. Before, it was all about getting as many eyeballs as possible on their stuff. Now, it's about turning those eyeballs into actual customers. They're not just making content anymore. They're building these huge brands with creators, they're selling products directly through their articles, and they're using AI to make it all happen faster and smarter. It's a huge shift from chasing clicks to chasing dollars.
So this is the new machine in action. It's a pretty complex system, but it's really brilliant when you break it down. They're giving creators the tools to build massive audiences under the BuzzFeed umbrella. They're turning their content into a storefront, so they get a cut every time you buy something they recommend. And yeah, they're still crushing it on social video, pumping out stuff that gets millions of views on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. It's a total, full funnel approach to staying on top. So when you step back and look at their whole journey, from those early viral pioneers to the modern media powerhouse they are today, it is really, really impressive. If we had to score their overall impact and, more importantly, their ability to adapt, we'd give them a solid 4.6 out of 5. But what's really behind that score? Okay, so on one hand, you have to give them major props. Their impact on culture is undeniable, and they are still the masters of creating stuff that's super shareable and taps right into that feeling of nostalgia. But on the other hand, losing their hard news division was a real blow. And let's be real, we've all felt that clickbait fatigue at some point. So, it's a high score for sure, but with a couple of important asterisks next to it. So why should any of this matter to you?
Well, because this story isn't just about one company. If you're a creator, if you're a marketer, if you're anyone trying to get attention online, this is basically a masterclass in how to survive and even thrive in the crazy, constantly changing world of digital media.
And that's really the key takeaway. You should think of BuzzFeed as a living, breathing experiment in modern media. They're showing all of us, right now, that going viral isn't just about getting a ton of clicks anymore. It's about building a sustainable business that can actually last. And that leaves us with this one final, massive question. BuzzFeed literally wrote the book on how to go viral for clicks. But can they write a whole new book on how to go viral for commerce and creators? The answer to that question isn't just going to define their future. It might just define the future of online media as a whole. And that is a story we should all be watching.